Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Liaquat Zaman and this is a crash course on Sarf. Now, like I said, the combination of kaf, ta and fa, ayn, lam can be many, thousands of combinations, right? However, we can break this down into two categories. We can say that the fa, ayn, lam can either be a letter, which is what I call the wine letters. Right, so you can write this down as well. Yes, I did say wine. No, wine isn't something Muslims drink. However, it can be a wine letter. So if I write down what is a wine letter, if I write down the alphabet for you guys, alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, all of it. So I'll write that all down and then I'll identify for you which letters are wine letters. So the wine letters are basically waw, alif, ya, and nun. Right, waw, alif, ya, and nun. Okay, so we can highlight these letters in the list. You can have a go at that. Highlight these letters. So as I said, waw, alif, ya, and nun make up the wine letters, and I call it wine because it sounds like wine. Right, alif there, you got a ya, waw there, a ya there, and a nun. Now, the nun actually isn't really an issue here. The only reason I put a nun here is because some rules of sarf require a person to identify a particular type of nun. So at the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this nun. I'm going to rub it out, erase it, and we're just going to be left with, if I take the nun away, what we're left with? Y. The Y letters. Right? So Y are known as weak letters because it's basically like the sound that an ill person makes when they're ill, and they say why me, why. Right? So the Y letters, waw, alif, and ya. So either fa, ayn, lam can be made up of waw, alif, ya, all three of them, or two of them, or one of them, or the letters can be made up of others. So if there are 28 letters in the Arabic language and 3 of them or 4 of them, let's say, are wine letters, how many do we have left? So those are the ones that we have left, right? So the other letters that we have, these letters are what we follow the normal pattern. So the 2 patterns above for past and present, all of the letters follow this normal procedure, normal pattern. You're not going to find much difference besides maybe pronunciation of certain letters. Generally, it's going to stay the same. You take the word nasara, nun, sadara, you're going to follow the same pattern. Nasara, nasara, nasaru. Sami'a, slight difference on the meme, but still the same. Sami'a, sami'a, sami'u, sami'at, etc. Not much difference there. So we have here, the concept is the same if the letters are considered to be normal, right? So kataba, yaktubu, nasara, yansuru, all of these letters are treated in the same way, carbon print. Right, so now what if the letters are a Y letter? Waw, alif, ya. What if it's one of those? So if it's one of these, then changes have to possibly take place. So these adjustments and changes, which they call ta'deel or ta'wilat, right? So these changes ta'lilat that take place, these ta'lilat or these changes are actually something that have rules for them. So I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, we had a word zawara. So notice the ayn letter is a waw. So because the ayn letter is a waw, right? So kataba, zawara, zawara, zawaru, zawarat. The Arabs actually do not allow having a waw in the middle. They don't allow that. Right, so in the past verb, they won't allow that. So what do? We have to adjust it to something that they do allow. So they adjust it with an alif. So we're going to change it to an alif. So instead of zawara, we're going to say zara. Zara. So the alif has no vowel. Zara. Right, so zawara becomes zara. So zara, zara, zarut, zaru, zarat. Okay, so zawara became zara, zawara became zara, and zawaru became zaru. Right, now the other thing is, if you actually have this on the 6th one in the list, right, where you're talking about feminine and it's got the noon at the end, here you have a problem. The alif is preceded by a sakin, a word that has a sukun, this shape at the top of it. So in this case, it can't be pronounced zarna. They don't say that. So in this case, we have to get rid of the alif. The Arabs get rid of the alif. So they delete it and they adjust the vowel before. Right? So now you're left with zaranun, and you're going to put a dhamma on the za to represent the adjustment that's been made. So the removal of the alif requires them to change the vowel on the previous letter from a fatha to a dhamma. So zarna has become zurna. So it's something which, if you are unfamiliar with, if you're not aware with this, or not aware of this, then you're going to get a bit confused. Anyway, so that's basically if there is one of these letters there. This is one example I've given you, and there's many other examples out there. Now, what if it's a normal pattern, right? What if it's a normal letter, not a Y letter? Then you have two options. Either the letters are repeated or they are non-repeated letters. Non-repeated letters would be something like kataba. Kaf is different, ta is different, ba is different. Nasara, noon is different, sad is different, ra is different. Okay, and you have repeated letters, which are, for example, like madad, right? So mim, dal, dal. Dal is repeated twice, yeah, in the verb. So in this case, this also requires certain adjustments as well, because the Arabs do not say madada. They have two letters that are the same. They won't repeat them. What they'll do is they'll merge them together, and this is called shadda. Madda. Madda in reality is actually two dals, and for you to be able to merge two letters together, the first one must start with a sukun. So madda. So therefore now you've changed madada, madada, madadu to madda, madda, maddu. Right? Why? Because you have two consecutive letters in the same word, and the Arabs don't have that, so they adjust it for their needs, and it becomes madada becomes madda. Right? So that's another change of ta'leel that has taken place. So as you can see, so if you were to put this in this list, this would change. Finally, the last part is that let's take a root word, a famous root word, ayn lam mim. Ayn lam mim, anything with ayn lam mim has a significance, has a particular type of meaning that it's trying to portray, which is generally to do with knowledge or to become aware of something. So imagine like a tree, it has a trunk and it has branches branching out. The various forms this verb can take. One is where the structure changes, structural change in the past and present, and one is actually where these three letters are placed in a pattern, in a greater pattern that gives the verb a slightly different meaning. Right? So this is not just what we talked about above, this is actually giving it a slightly different meaning. Let me show you an example. For example, in Arabic, if you were to say alima, that's one type of verb you can have, and then you can have a past, which is just alima, and a present, which is just alima. You can have a'lama, right, which is again another form. So you can have past, which is a'lama, and you can have a present, and you can also have allama, which a past allama, allama, allamu, allamat, and you can have a present, right, for that. You can also have ta'allama, right, so ta'allama for past, ta'allama for the present, and you can also have i'talama. Maybe that, I'm not sure if that word exists, but I'm just giving you an example. I'talama, ista'lama, right? So ista'lama, past, a whole list of past, 14 for past, 14 for present. You can have alama, 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 alamu, and you can also have ta'alama, ta'alama, past and present for both. Meaning that each one of these plays a slightly different or gives a slightly different meaning. So for example, alima means to become aware of something. A'lama means to make someone aware of something. Allama means to teach someone something. Ta'allama means to learn something with an effort, and so forth. So all of these verbs have a particular type of meaning which is not portrayed by the other verb. Yet all of these have the same list of 14 for each one in their respective patterns. So these patterns are something that you will have to become aware of when you study Sarf as well. A lot of students will find these patterns being represented by Roman numerals if they read some of the dictionaries, like you have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Each one of them signifies one of the particular patterns. So that's basically a bit about the structure. Now each one of these now can be further, words can be further derived from each one of these verbs. So you can derive something which is the person who does something, right? The one who is the doer. You can take out from there something with the meaning of a place. So for example, like let's take the word alima. So for instance, if I say to you alima, it means to know. The one who knows something, follows a particular pattern, you call him alim. Alim is the one who possesses alima. And then the thing that is known, the information that is known, thing that you learn, is actually called ma'lum, which fits into a particular pattern. Notice, alim contains the three letters fa, ain, lam, contains the root letters ain, lam, mim. Ma'lum contains the three root letters ain, lam, and mim. And also allama, someone who knows a lot, and it contains the three root letters ain, lam, and mim. Notice there's some extra words in there, but it contains the same root ones. And ma'lam, right, it contains the same three root letters. So as you can see, this is basically a short crash course for you guys who are interested in learning about Sarf, who want to know about how Sarf works and what is Sarf about, what am I getting myself into. This is just to give you a brief overview of what you should expect if you're going to be going into Sarf. Inshallah, the good news is I'm going to be starting a series on my YouTube channel for Sarf, and I'm going to be going systematically through Sarf and hopefully covering as much as I can in explaining Sarf in this method as well. So if you guys are interested in helping me to achieve this, inshallah, you guys can become a patron. You can support me in this channel. And thank you to all my patrons who are already supporting me and have supported me in the past. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much to you guys. You guys are wonderful people. But if you guys want to support me as well and help me make videos like this and are interested in this, then go into the description below. There's a link. Check out the link. And patrons, many of the patrons get special privileges, videos that general public don't get access to. So you can have access to those as well. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair. If you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you subscribe and give the thumbs up and share these videos with all your friends and family. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much guys for watching this video, and again thank you to all my patrons as well for all your support. Jazakumullah khair. May Allah reward you immensely. If you guys want to become a patron, then links in the description below. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.